up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with a banger reaction for you. And fam, we are checking out the Game Theory's brand new video, Don't Open the Door. And this looks like it's talking about the brand new Roblox game, The Doors or something, I don't know. Both of my daughters play it, so I'm pretty stoked to see this. Again, I don't know anything about it. And you know Matt Pett is our favorite teacher, so I'm excited to see what he says about this and what kind of lore is here for this game. But before we jump in this video, make sure you show Matt Pett over at Game Theory some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoy my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb acid drum.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo -hoo. Oh, it's time for some lore.
Alright, so let's see what horror games we have to theorize about. Show me door number 1.
Uno más, por favor.
Not
Hey,
bad. Feels a bit
wanna play
overplayed.
time?
Still waiting for Chapter 3's release. What about door number 2?
Matt Pett, where is the timeline? Where is it?
Ugh, again. Look, I promise the timeline's coming. It's just taking a bit longer than I anticipated. Spoiler alert, if your lore gets simpler, my theories get faster. Just a thought. Give me another week and we'll do it. Okay, make it a few more weeks and I'll do it. But right now, for this week, I just need something that's a little less
Couple weeks, all right, I'm holding you to it. Maybe sometime this year, we'll get it.
complicated.
Maybe.
Please say door number 3 has the answer. Now this I can work with. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that
Chat, is that not the funnest saying from YouTube? Let me know if there's something better. I don't think so. I don't know what other sayings are. Just because it's a game theory. They're all good.
loves the fact that both
It's
door
a film
and lore
theory.
rhyme, and today we're gonna have a
It's a
lot
lore.
of both. I'm of course talking about the hit
Lores.
Roblox horror experience, Doors. It's a simple title which matches nicely with the simple
Like I
premise.
said, both of
Each
my daughters
door is
play
numbered
this.
sequentially, and your goal is to get through door number 100, hence the title. Not too hard, right? Wrong. Because while you go from room to room, you're being scared from a menagerie of evil entities that are trying to stop you from
Ooh. Ugh. You guys know I get scared easily.
reaching that final door.
Just a
Each
little
entity's
bit.
tactics range wildly. One forces you into an elaborate chase sequence, another rushes through the current area forcing you to hide, another will lock you out or kick you out of said hiding spots, and some are just there for the good old-fashioned spooks. Oh my
Oh my god.
This game really has it all.
And this is for kids. This is for kids.
Good scares, good strategy, good puzzles, but of course it wouldn't be a true game theory horror experience without the secret ingredient, good
Lore.
lore. That's right, a game about walking through doors in a randomly generated hotel has got itself some lore. The developers have actually said the foundations of the story are basically in there already. They're just
Already
going to
is
be
lore.
revealing it slowly with each new update, which of course immediately got my attention. So I waited patiently.
Sounds like an excuse of why there's no lore. Yeah, there's lore in there. Just it'll come out with some updates. What?
For the
Get out of
Hotel
here.
Plus update that was due to come out in December. And then the update got delayed. Now, we've all seen our fair share of unpolished games and broken updates in the last few years, so if the update needs more time in the oven, then by all means, devs, take the
Make it
time that
up.
you need. But in lieu of
Make
this
it
Hotel
up.
Plus update, allow me to scratch that door lore itch. Because in preparation for the update, I started digging into the game that we already had, plus the teaser, trailers, and screenshots that the devs have given us. And I think I've got it figured out. The devs weren't wrong. The lore is absolutely there. It's just hidden deep. Real deep. Almost as deep as wherever we're gonna end up in floor 2.
Dude, Matt Pett is literally the best narrator, bro. I love it. Just the inflection he puts in his voice and the excitement. It's awesome.
So pack your bags, theorists, because we've got a one-way trip through history,
We
magic,
ready.
and a classic battle
ready.
between good and evil. Let's check in. First of all, where are we? Obviously, it's a hotel, but it's not really normal. And I'm not talking about the randomized layout. At first glance, it might trick you into thinking it's normal, with a reception desk, bedrooms, hallways. Sure, the furniture reads a little old, probably from around the 1940s or 50s, but on the whole, it's pretty standard stuff. Sure, one of the new teased images does look a little bit strange, stone walls and big barrels, but yeah, it's most likely designed to be a wine cellar, which wouldn't be unheard of for a hotel, especially as Prohibition ended in 1933 in the US, thereby allowing establishments like hotels to serve alcohol to customers. What's really odd is the second teased image. It's a large room filled with beds from end to end. Maybe the hotel's able to offer cheaper rates if you're
This is-
willing to bunk with 10 other people.
Or it looks like a like an infirmary or something like that from an
We're in
outbreak?
the same room, except that isn't what the room's for. Along with the image, we were given its name, the infirmary. Why on earth would there be an infirmary in a hotel? I'll tell you why. It's because that's exactly what hotels were used for during the 1940s, especially during World War II. During the war, the country was in need of more hospitals for fairly obvious reasons, but they didn't want to have to build a bunch of new hospitals that would then become useless at the end of the war. So instead, they started
Kind of like what they did with tuberculosis. And now they're all haunted with ghosts. A lot of ghosts.
working with private businesses to turn their establishments into makeshift hospitals, and hotels were candidate number one for this sort of thing. They had lots of elevators to transport patients and equipment, they had lots of rooms for people to stay in, and best of all, because of the war, people weren't traveling or going on vacation, so the hotels were largely going unused. So while it seems weird to see an infirmary in a hotel, it's actually not outside the realm of possibility. That, plus the 40s style of furniture, tells us that what we're exploring here is a haunted hotel that was an active hospital during World War II. And given the monsters roam in the hallways and the damage that we see across various rooms, it's unlikely that anyone has occupied this place since.
I would not go to this hotel. Check out, please.
So then, why are we here now? It's not exactly the five-star
Ghost
establishment
hunters?
anyone would be expecting
Sam and
for their
Colby.
weekend getaway.
We're
But
Sam and
even
Colby.
If we wanted to check out, we can't turn back. And I do mean that literally. If you take a look at the bridge that we crossed to get here, you'll see that it's now broken, with planks of wood just floating around in midair. Whatever is in this hotel, it doesn't want us to leave. But here's the real twist, we don't want to leave either. If you die during your playthrough, you'll be shown a death screen depending on what entity you died to. These death screens are mostly there to give us hints, telling us how to avoid dying to the same entity again. However, the way these hints are phrased can be pretty darn interesting. Most of the time it just says, you died to whatever entity, but sometimes it rephrases it slightly. You died to who you call Halt. You died to who you call Ambush. You died to who you call the Figure. These entities don't have names, or at least none that we know of. The names that we're calling them are names that have been given to them by us, something that one of the devs confirmed on Twitter. What's also interesting is that
this is where the lore is starting. The lore! Say it with me, chat. The lore!
These versions of the death messages occur during your first death to these entities, which means that we already have names for them before we've ever encountered them. Apparently, we already know about them and the hotel before we've ever stepped foot in here. But how can that be? Well, for that, we actually have to look at the game's history. During the development for Doors, before the entities were called entities, there was a different name being considered cryptids. Cryptids are
Cryptids, is that a word? That sounds like a fake word.
creatures that some believe exist, but have never truly been proven to exist by modern science.
Abominable
Think
snowman?
things like the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. If these entities were originally going to be called cryptids, and the names we refer to them as were given to them by us, the player,
Okay, maybe it does sound like a real word. I just don't think I've ever heard of cryptids.
then we must be someone interested in them specifically, also known as a cryptozoologist. And no, that's not just someone who works for Logan Paul's recent
I was just gonna say that, dude. I was just gonna say that.
scam. A cryptozoologist is someone that studies the pseudoscience of cryptids.
He
and
gave
commits
that little
themselves to
jab to
proving their
Logan there.
existence. And who wouldn't want to trust a guy dressed like this? We didn't come here for a nice weekend getaway, friends. We are here because we know about these entities and we want to learn more about them. Only, we may have bitten off more than we can chew. Not only are the entities very real, but they're powerful, scary, and
That
above
one's
all,
terrifying,
deadly.
dude. The one with the, I don't know, it looks like a bone vest or something, dude.
That is, except for one. Remember those death messages that I mentioned? The ones that are giving you tips and tricks on how to survive the hotel? Well, those aren't just meta messages from the developers, they're actually coming from another entity. While it might not be immediately obvious what entity it is, as you go through the game, you'll occasionally see blue sparkles show up around the map. They're normally around to show you the correct path during the seek chase, to show you which paintings belong in which positions during the painting puzzles, or to help illuminate the exit in a dark room. A guiding light, if you will. Which is funny, because the title of the music that plays during those death screens is also called Guiding Light. This has led the community to give this mysterious bodiless entity that name, although I'm not entirely convinced that this entity is completely formless. While the majority of the rooms and doors are typical hotel rooms, there's a chance for special rooms to spawn instead. One of those rooms is called the Courtyard, and it's unusual because it's the only time we're able to actually go outside, feel the wind in our hair, the rain on our skin, and then remember that we're still trapped and have nowhere to go.
I got so much hair to feel that wind in. I just go like this in the wind, and luscious locks just flow.
But forward.
They
Existential
flow.
crises aside, this room is pretty much regarded as a safe zone during the run, which starts to make a lot of sense as you explore the area. Looking around, you'll find a large statue of an angelic figure with a sword in the center of the courtyard, protecting it. In the Bible, we often see depictions of angels with swords, both used for battle and for protecting, but they're also seen to guide the lost, helping them find their way either physically or spiritually.
Okay.
Now, what would that remind me of? It's guiding light,
Guiding
the
light.
entity that's trying to protect us. This isn't the only time religious iconography is used within the game either. A handful of paintings around the hotel are parodies of religious artwork, or have been named with more religious connotations, like the Last Supper, or these two called Temple and Tabernacle respectively. One of the new items being added to the Hotel Plus update is a cross. The update
Chat, let me know. Do you guys play this? Is this a fun game to play?
trailer literally tells us the rules have changed while revealing this item and showing it stopping the entity Rush dead in its tracks. It's a pretty useful tool to be sure, but it actually tells us a lot more about these entities that were up.
Yeah, that guy. That dude's kind of terrifying. I don't know. That looks like oh my god, Stranger Things, right? Doesn't that look like Stranger Things?
Against. The Christian cross is commonly used in pop
God,
culture
what are
as
they
a weapon
called?
to ward off demons, evil spirits, and unnatural beings like vampires.
What are those called?
Which means that these aren't just
These guys
cryptids,
in
they're
Stranger
demons,
Things. What are they called?
Or at least something linked to the demonic. This in turn lends support to the idea that the angelic statue in the courtyard is indeed guiding light, as angels are basically the exact opposite of demons. But that's not the only thing the cross reveals to us about the game's lore. Because, well, yeah, a cross stopping a demon in its tracks makes perfect sense. The developers didn't just take the easy way out. It would have been simple for them to implement the cross and just have the entity disappear when you use it, or have it freeze in place. Instead, they went the extra mile and gave it extra visual effects, which are definitely cool and add to the quality of the game, but also the specific symbol they use here tells us a lot. Upon first glance, most viewers will probably recognize the main symbol as the Star of David, a symbol of the Jewish faith, which might seem odd when connected to a cross and its powers over demons, but actually that wouldn't be looking at the full picture. Widening out your view, you can see that the Star of David is actually enclosed in a ring with writing and symbols in it. This actually aligns more with the precursor to the Star of David known as the Seal of Solomon, a symbol that supposedly gave King Solomon the power to command the supernatural, including demons. And now the pieces start falling into place. This symbol went on to become associated with the occult, but also with Christian, Jewish.
Dude, I love when Matt Pat does this, dude. Again, you just, from start to finish, you just see him like throw these dots out. Boop, 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 boop. And then you see him slowly but surely start connecting them. And you're like, brah!
And Islamic alchemists, which might explain the Islamic crescent that's being present at the center of the star. And yeah, believe it or not, but there's a lot of history with religious groups partaking in alchemy, specifically the whole turning lead into gold and bringing things to life from nothing part. It is some really wild stuff. In fact, it's that last one that's going to be important to us today. In the world of alchemy, when you create a living being from non-living things, that being is known as a homunculus. As the stories go, they were made in a variety of ways. Some are animals, while others are tiny little humans.
I love hummus.
Christian alchemy, the homunculus were supposed to be Christ-like, perfect beings made from nothing. But it would also grant its creator the ability to see and converse with demons and spirits, which if you were staying in a hotel filled to the brim with horrifying entities, I would imagine would be a useful tool to have on your side. So why am I bringing all this up? Well, there's always been one entity that bugged me. And no, it's not just because it killed me even when I did what it told me to do.
Let's control your breathing. Yeah, okay. I was pressing Q or E. No! You can only revive and run once? No!
The figure always felt like the odd one out. Most of these entities are ghostly figures, black and white with overly distorted faces. Seek may appear in a human form during the chase, but it's basically a collection of eyes and black goo. But the figure, it's a humanoid monster that's covered in flesh, bones, and teeth. Thematically, the figure just doesn't feel like it belongs, until you look at how a homunculus is made. One method to create a homunculus is to combine bones, skin, and hair in a bag, and then bury that bag surrounded by horse manure for 40 days. Dig it up and hooray! You got yourself one stinky bag and supposedly a living creature. Now, let's just take a look at those ingredients again. Bones and flesh? It's a perfect match for our pal, the figure. That's why this monster's different. The figure isn't a spirit or a demon like all the others. It's an actual monster created using living tissue. Imagine the scene, if you will. World War II is going on. People are being injured left, right, and center. A random hotel is transformed into a makeshift hospital in order to manage the amount of injured people throughout the city. People are dying agonizing deaths. deaths, and their angry spirits refuse to move on. Religious figures in the community, like nuns, offer to join in helping nurse these people back to health, but not everyone has good intentions. It's World War II after all. The Nazis are performing horrific experiments on the wounded. Experiments that'll fuse the injured, dying, and rotten flesh, bone, and hair to create new life. The figure is born from these such experiments. Meanwhile, the prayers of the religious figures don't fall on deaf ears. They pray for divine intervention. They pray for an angel to protect them. And lo and behold, their prayers
give me
get
some
answered.
hummus.
The guiding light traps the demons in the hotel, mixing up the rooms randomly, turning the hotel into a labyrinth that these entities get lost within.
Sounds like the Winchester Hotel too, or the Winchester House.
The hotel eventually falls into silence and obscurity. Nobody left inside, nobody willing to enter. The only thing that remains are stories of strange creatures that roam the hallways. Some ghostly, some made of flesh and bone. Most people would steer clear of a place like this, but one cryptozoologist took interest and decided to make a visit to this hallowed location. Guiding light saw us and destroyed the bridge outside, stopping us from ever leaving. Not because they want us to perish, but because they know the secrets of this place have to remain hidden. And that, my friends, is what I suspect to be the lore of Roblox doors. Like I said at the start, this stuff was buried deep in here, but I'm really glad the developers are giving us some really interesting things to chew on, especially with all the new teased content they're releasing as part of the update. I am more excited than ever for this game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if when they finally get around to releasing Floor 2, we end up seeing occult markings on the walls, the skeletons of dead clergymen, maybe even a summoning circle with a big old pile of bones in the middle. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. In the meantime, remember, it's all just a theory.
A game theory! Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, bring it in! Or no, let's hear him say it.
A game theory. Thanks for watching. Woo! And if you don't want to stop the Roblox horror party...
Alright, let me bring you in, chat. Let me bring you in. Bruh! Okay, this is a little off topic, but God, who is excited for the FNAF timeline? I know this guy is. He's been teasing it for months. I mean, it's gotta be like a 30-minute video, dude, and it's gonna be insane. It's gonna go hard, and we're gonna get our learn on, but yeah, dude, this game, like, looks like a pretty scary kids game, dude. I don't know how far my kids, I'm curious to see what, because I've never talked to them about it. I just know they play it. They love Roblox and, you know, the thousands of games that's in there, but leave it to Matt Pat to make some lore out of it. This was awesome. Matt Pat, you are a god. And yeah, we're all really excited for the FNAF timeline. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We got our learn on today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Show Matt Pat some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. But enough talking. Let's get to reacting. And remember, it's Eat, Sleep, and Make Beats. And as usual, be kind of what it are. And that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Got nothing but love for the Sauce Gang. Yes, I was about to say my intro for a second time. Peace out.